Hello everyone and welcome to the 4.5 Balance Sage overview. We're taking a look at this one because we haven't taken a look at this one yet. So we'll do a more complete one than we've done. We'll go over the changes first of all for 4.5 for those of you who have played a Seer Sage in the past, or not a Seer Sage, a Balance Sage in the past. We did Seer 2 minutes ago there, just finished and transferred the main hand and the offhand over. And there we go, we're into Toggy Tim now. We've got the dot spec. So what's changed? Force and balance. Okay, its radius is down from 8 meters to 5 meters. Okay, it's interesting. What this means is, can we still dot spread? Now I've come here to the fleet to demonstrate this because we got two targeting dummies that are quite close together. Can we still dot spread is the question. So we're going to put dots up on this one. And then we're going to pop this in the middle. And yes, we can still. That one, the dot spread didn't work there. So we can still hit that one. Okay, it went into combat. Let me dots back up on that one. It done damage to that. Yeah, there you go. It's still... That one's got dots on it, that one's got dots on it, so we can still use it to dot spread. Whether this means we'll be able to do it with the lurkerlings on under lurker, I don't know. Also, the healing has been nerfed that we get from our dots, okay? Focused Insight now increases the life redistributed by Weakened Mind and Sever Force by 10%, down by 25, you saw it there. There it is, we'll pop up our dots. It has a chance to heal us now, you see here, it's doing absolute... minuscule healing. And nice if the dummy stayed active longer. That would be nice. There you go. It's very, very little healing that we're getting out of it now. It's almost completely pointless. Okay, our two dots being Sever Force, Weakened Mind. Right, so let's cover this from the basics from the start there. So if you've never done a guide to this one before, get out of combat. There we are, we're out of combat. So we're going to take a look at balance. What's it all about? It is the dot spec. Okay. EVHM. They want to defeat Revan HM to do EVHM. You have to have done... What the fuck is this? Okay? You have to have defeated Revan the Returned in 8-person hard mode to do EVHM. Full 224. Why would you want full... If you have full 224 gear, why'd you want to do EV? It's not the op of the week, it's TFB. What an idiot. What a fucking idiot. Right, let's go. What a fucking asshole that guy is. Don't call him an asshole. Don't harass people in game. Right, so what's it all about? It's all about the dot spec. Very similar to a Serenity Shadow. You've got your Sever Force. There's your dot. You've got your Weakened Mind as well. Which does again damage. 18 seconds these dots last. You've also got your Vanquish. Again, similar to the Shadow. It deals damage over 9 seconds rather than 6. That's the big difference here. You've also got Force Serenity instead of Serenity Strike. It's quite nice. Of course, you've got Force and Balance, and it has the full 30-meter range on it this time. So it's pretty much the same, or if not similar rotation-wise, it's pretty similar to a Serenity Shadow. A couple of things to bear in mind, though. Okay, the way people play this, or the way you see people in pugs playing this. Okay, Psychic Projection. Read this. Okay. Telekinetic Throw channels and ticks 33% faster, but deals 25% less damage. Okay, there's a clue there. That's a big clue, as we don't just sit there and do telekinetic throw, telekinetic throw, telekinetic... You see the amount of more sorcerers than anything else just sit there and spam this all day. I've seen raid groups, shit you not, of people just sitting there doing this. Or AoE, they just do this. Right? Spamming Force Lightning. This commando's like, what the fuck is he doing? What the fuck is he doing? Look at that, spamming them pebbles. Right, okay. These are not... It's not damage dealing ability. Okay, this is basic attack. Think of TK throw as your basic attack. You press it, you are going to use it. We're going to cover that. You are going to use it. Certainly. In our rotation. Don't press it all the time. Don't just sit there and press it. It's quite a scrubby thing to do. I see it all the time. While doing ops, doing pug ops. You see it most with sorcerers doing force lightning, force lightning, force lightning, force lightning. At least doing force quake, you get the tectonic mastery at least. Let's give you the 25% extra quake damage. So in terms of utilities, tectonic mastery can be worth taking. It is a good cleave spec, this one. It is the better of the two cleave specs of the Sage. So tectonic mastery is worth taking because there's nothing else really that we want. Of course we want Pain Bearer. Okay, healing received by 10%. Does not affect redistributed life. Now, I should point out that Force Serenity, like the Shadow one, does give us 100% of the damage healed. It does do 100%. Where is it? 25%, no, it deals 25% more damage. I think, where does it? It did. There it is. Increase the life stolen by force and balance and force serenity by. No, it's by 100% force serenity and force and balance. So does it increase it to 60? Got a vanguard practicing there. We'll move away from this. It's quite noisy. Move over here. I'm not going to do a rotation anytime soon. I'm going to move over here. Yeah, it does not affect redistributed life. So things like Force Serenity, Force and Balance, and the dot ticks of your Serenity and Weakened Mind, it's not going to affect them. But it will affect your Force Men. Bear in mind, one of your big DPS or your big defensive cooldowns is a heal. And of course, you've still got Benevolence and you've got Rejuvenate, which doesn't really do a hell of a lot. It's kind of useless, to be honest. You've still got them as heals, so 10% more healing received is nice, okay, out of that. The other one, Jedi Resilience, damage reduction by 3%. It's a no-brainer. Psychic Fusion, maybe, but it doesn't do a huge amount of healing. The rest are all just PvP things, really. Benevolence increases the movement speed of the target. You could use Benevolence on yourself to get extra movement speed if you really wanted to, but we got force speed, so it's not really that huge, to be honest with you. I like Block Out, like we said in the healer one. Okay, 25% damage reduction, quite nice. Again, it comes down to a choice of that or Valiance. Telekinetic Defense, depends what we're doing here. Telekinetic Defense can be useful. However, if you have a Sage healer, it might be best to let them put their bubble on you. Okay, same goes for Life Ward. Okay, so you maybe, if we're doing pug groups and we're healing with pugs, yeah, I'm taking these two. Okay, I'm going for it. I'm going for these two abilities because you never know. Never know. Okay, you never actually know how good your healer is. But if you know the healer well, then I would let them bubble you. And I would, if you're going to take Life Ward, tell the healer that you're taking Life Ward and tell them not to bubble you. Tell the other Sage healer, don't bubble me, I can heal myself for a bit with Life Ward, okay? Anything else you want to take? Mind Ward is quite nice. Egress, if we're getting movement impairing effects, if you're doing the War Chief, again, you can take that. Valiance is an option as well to take. In terms of heroic, Force Mobility, again, is the mandatory one. Life Ward, we talked about that as well. I'd go with it if you're doing pugs. Again, this gives you that extra bit of healing. If you're not doing pugs, if you're taking AoE damage, then Ethereal Entity is quite nice. Force Haste if you want to be dodging things, if you're doing things like Sword Squadron where you want to be moving out of things. Reducing the cooldown of Force Barrier is quite nice as well. Okay, your Force Barrier is your immunity bubble. And if we're getting stunned a lot, Mental Defense is the way to go. But Force Mobility, I'd say, still mandatory here. It is your Force Serenity that you can cast on the move. So when it comes to gearing this class, again, your first priority should be to get the 6-piece. Now I only have the 2-piece because I focus more on getting the healer one. So that's why I only have the 2-piece. This new 6-piece set bonus is very, very nice. Okay, getting an extra charge of force potency is very nice. Okay, reducing the cost of force lightning or telekinetic throw doesn't really do anything. But reducing the cooldown of mental alacrity by 15 seconds is quite nice. Your big cooldowns are force potency, of course. 60% crit chance on your direct attack, doesn't affect your dots. Okay, so your dots aren't going to proc it. Getting the third charge is quite nice, actually. It's not really huge in this spec, but in TK, telekinetics, it tends to be better than that. Mental alacrity is the other one. 20% alacrity and immunity to pushbacks and interrupts for 10 seconds. It's very nice in this spec. Okay, this spec is an alacrity spec when it comes to gearing. As you can see, we've got 900 alacrity. Obviously, your priority in this spec. Cap your accuracy. Now, I do have too much accuracy. What I'm going to do is I've only got a 216 piece in here. Upgrade this to 220, upgrade the gloves, and then I'm going to ditch this augment and swap it for an alacrity augment. So I've got like 980 odd alacrity. You want alacrity here. Crit is okay. I mean, I've got probably about 1100 crit is fine, and probably about 1000 alacrity is what you want. And the reason for that is any abilities with channels. Okay, anything like, you know, TK throw is a channeled ability. The less time we spend channeling that, the better. And the more we get force and balance off cooldown, the better it is for us. Okay, we don't want to be channeling this too long, and we want to be getting more force and balances out, because that's where the big damage comes from. And of course, more Vanquishes out as well. Getting Vanquish's cooldown off as well. We can make Vanquish instant cast similar to the Shadow, and we're going to show you how we go about our rotation right now. So the basics of the spec are dots. We want dots up at all times. We want Vanquish, force and balance, we say on cooldown. Vanquish when it's instant cast. The first time you use Vanquish, you can use it non-instant cast. So what we do when we pull mental alacrity up, pre-cast Vanquish, okay, just before the pull, or pre-cast mental alacrity, force potency first. Say, pre-casting Vanquish, hits the boss as the tank pulls, mental alacrity, force and balance, get both these dots up, get a force serenity out, and then we're going to get a TK throw out, fire off a disturbance, do another TK throw, and then do the instant cast Vanquish, and then force and balance should be back off of cooldown. So we're going to go potency, Vanquish, mental alacrity, pop that up, fire this off, serenity off, TK throw, disturbance, a second TK throw. It hasn't worked out too well. We're getting a third TK throw out. And there we go. And then we're back off cooldown again, and it's back to refreshing the dots. I forgot to put the dots up. That was the problem. There. Okay, we'll wait until this comes off cooldown. There, we messed up there. I forgot to put the 2 dots up. We shouldn't have got 3 TK throws out. That was a mistake there. That was wrong. Okay, we're gonna have to wait. We'll do it without potency, okay? Potency will give us a Vanquish crit and give us a force and balance crit, or force serenity crit. So what you want to do is make sure you get weakened mind up. So what we're gonna do is potency, pop this off, fire this out, get these 2 out, get a serenity out, make sure your serenity, because it'll hit harder with that. Pop this out, and then fire another TK throw out, wait for that to just come off cooldown. It's not quite lining up, and then it's time to refresh dots. Force serenity out again. TK throw, fire out a free disturbance, and there you go. It should line up quite nicely there. And again, the dots are just about to fall off. Force serenity's just come off cooldown. Serenity, back to TK throw, fire out one of them, back to TK throw again. We should sit around about a decent amount of force here. It's quite a bugger for force management, but bear in mind your crits here, or your periodic crits, get a nice little buff here, keeping them up. And then don't forget to use potency and mental alacrity on cooldown. It's a fairly easy rotation to go through, bit force intensive. To be honest with you, it is a little bit force intensive, but In terms of alacrity, we want around 1,000 alacrity. Crit, probably around the 1,100 crit is good for us here. I mean, we're looking at 6-piece set bonus is nice for this. The extra charge of force potency and the extra usages of mental alacrity. We'll show you the rotation again. Potency up. Vanquish out. Mental alacrity. Pop that off. Get your 2 dots up. Both dots up. Fire this off. Fire that off. Wait for that to come off cooldown. Pop that up. Refresh the dots. Very important that we refresh our dots before we do Force Serenity, because it does 25% more damage. So the last thing we want is our dots falling off. I know you can double tap it to do it, but I'm gonna go with that. Fire at a cooldown there. So yeah, it's very important that we get our force and balance off with the messed up slightly there. It slightly went out of whack. But there you go. It's very important. You want the whole duration of force suppression with Vanquish off. Very, very important that we get that. Okay, we just want that to come off for us. That's pretty much it. You can use Vindicate as well, although it's not really. If you get into trouble, use Vindicate. Bear in mind that our healing damage of telekinetic increases our critical chance of critical damage of periodic effects. Also, our every time a charge of force suppression is consumed, we gain 2 force. So obviously, we want to be using that. Also, we get the crit chance of our dot ticks. That's why we don't really care about dot ticks, to be honest. That's why we don't really care huge amounts about crit in this spec. It's more about just getting that Force Serenities out underneath our Vanquish. That's the basic of it, really. It's not a difficult spec to play. It's quite good for AoE. AoE rotation is make sure, and we want. I'll put Vanquish up. Okay, Vanquish, then put your 2 dots up, okay? Then you want to use your Force and Balance to spread the dot, and then just get the Force Quake. You're just going to fill in with Force Quake until Force and Balance comes off cooldown, and then we're going to reapply our dots and spread them again. Okay, so we're just going to reapply, it's evaded there, reapply them, fire that off. Pick the primary target and use Vanquish on them before the pull, and then it's back to your Force Quake again. Fairly nice for AoE, actually. It's not too bad for AoE. So you get your dot spread and you get your Force Quake out. So it's pretty nice for cleave spec. Anyway, that is all for this video. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon, and goodbye.